let's quickly fire on now from our cylinder here. The political build-up to the 2027 general election is starting extremely very early. Unlike in previous elections across Nigeria, we are seeing heavy political build-up. War chairs, political arsenals are all being gathered. What some describe as heavy political arms stockpile ahead of the general election for next 2 years. Some even allege that the reason for the cash crunch, let me use that word now, or the reason for the non-availability of money flowing around is because the politicians are stockpiling money for next general election. I cannot verify that now, but let's leave that out now. And quickly, let's look at the opposition parties. They've not been looking good. Well, from the beginning, they've not been looking good since the last election in 2023. Yet till now, they're not still looking good. Labour Party is at some point after Peter Obi left, we saw so much struggle. Lamidi, Aburi, all the struggles and everything. Before then, long ago, Abga had been at war with the Chekwa Sokore and Victor Ume Batu, but after last election, we saw that. Well, the People's Democratic Party appeared to have been worse hit. A party that proudly served as the largest party in Africa at some point, a party that notified Nigerians that it would govern the political space for 60 years. And after 60 years, there will likely be consideration of another party. Now that party spent the whole of last night struggling to actually patch his umbrella, patching 7 governors. Yes, Wike was in attendance, Samuel Lutom and others, and they gave it to Bukola Saraki, former Senate President and former Kwara State Governor, to see how he can manage the party into the National Executive Council, Executive Committee and meeting. Now this morning, we will be looking at build up to the next general election. Crisis within opposition party. For now, it appears as though President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already cruising to victory. Some are saying cruising to victory, and some are saying, yeah, let's wait and watch. But quickly now, let's quickly take you and discuss with our guests who are persons who themselves are political stakeholders in all of this process here. We have with us Mr. Peter Ahmed, former chairman of IPAC, and Chinedu Obi, national chairman of the National Rescue Movement. But Peter Ahmed has been on the line waiting. Now let's take you to Peter Ahmed. If we can get Peter Ahmed quickly, let's start to ask him, because I know Peter Ahmed has a former chairman of IPAC, Inter-Party Advisory Committee Council, and he is also involved in the struggle to save the soul. Someone said the kidney, the liver, and someone added a little bit on the comical side, the bongo of the Labour Party. Well, Mr. Peter Ahmed, if you're there, quickly, let's get you on board. Let's know what you think and what are your take on the multiple, ever-increasing crisis rocking opposition parties, even your own. In Abuja, we thought you want to clean the Labour Party, but we saw that the ambience table was not clean. When we saw Aburi saying that all of you have been suspended.
For me, I'm not really worried as somebody who have managed Inter-Party Advisory Council. I was a 2-time National Secretary of Inter-Party Advisory Council, 2-time National Chairman. I think I'm the highest person who have stayed long in those positions. For me, I don't think that intra-party crisis a reason why the populists should be afraid or should worry that the opposition are not getting their system right. I think for me, it's even showing a healthy contestation of ideas, the struggle for power, and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, what is most important is that we get it right, and that we do what is right as opposition political party to be able to, because opposition is very critical. It's a critical vehicle in the democratic process. As much as multi-party democratic system is what I believe in, I will continue to advocate for it. I believe that the intention and the use of state power to try to undermine the existence, the organization, the administration of opposition political party will fail eventually. Because people are getting to understand that if you have a government in power, that there are no alternative views and advice being given by the opposition party, that government will derail. And that is what we are seeing with the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government today. They have derailed, their policy is not working. They are not listening to people of voice who have genuine concern and understanding of how the economy works. And for this reason, it is critical that collectively, whether we are party members or not party members, think as much as we can and work as much as we can to survive the opposition political party. The political space as a whole, and those who are running the parties, are not up to 5% of the, are not up to 2% of the Nigerian population, whether the politicians and the political space. And we cannot allow politics to now become a total discourse of all the period of governance as we run instead of running governance. But generally speaking, the narrative of the APC and the intentions of the APC will not be sustained, will not be met, and will fail eventually. Like I said, even for the APC, I also ask journalists to come to interrogate the APC as a political party. How did Ganduje get on board? Where was the net being heard? Was there any letter written to INEC that stipulated 21 days notice that the Ganduje will be appointed national chairman? Look, these are the interrogations we have asked the journalists to do, so that the concentration on the opposition, as if the opposition, like yesterday, the PDP stakeholders met. So that is to tell you that the party is still healthy, despite all the punching and all the accounting from the parties in government. And you can see that the Labour Party is still surging on. And other parties, I've never believed that we can have a one-party state. Not in this country. This country is a strong foundation, has a strong foundation for multi-party democratic system.
Labour Party. I will touch on PDP meeting yesterday night. I will touch on others. But let us start with the Ganduje political philosophy or political postulation, as someone put it here, that when you people cry of a one-party democracy, as far as he, Umar Ganduje, former two-time executive governor of Kano State and incumbent national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, that such political lamentations shouldn't come in at all. That Nigeria can snowball into a one-party democracy like China or a one-party democracy like Russia and still do very well. What's your take?
It is an uncharitable statement. It is an undemocratic statement. It is a statement that should be condemned by everybody. And I'm ashamed and disappointed in that statement. Because for a man who benefited, if there was no multi-party democratic system, there was no way Ganduje would have become governor. No way in this world that would have become governor or deputy governor. So people who desecrate the temple where they were blessed and they were anointed will continue to do everything to try to undermine our democratic system. This system is democratic. This system is multi-democratic and is multi-party-driven system. So we expect those who have benefited from such system to try to do everything to entrench the democratic culture that they met on stage, rather than to do things to drown it. I do not support the statement. I believe that statement, he should come with an apology within the coming weeks, to be able to apologize to Nigerians that in trying to make sure that you close the gap. The part of democracy that I understand is about inclusivity, is about participation, it is about freedom, and it is about people getting to have, look at the Constitution. The Constitution was very clear that you have interest to belong to a trade union, a political party, an association that protects your interest. That is what the political party said, the Constitution said about defining political process. So you cannot have a man who do not understand the basic principle of democratic participation, the basic principle why democracy was preferred over a lot of other strong arm political approach to governance, and decide to come and think that, oh, because they're in power today, whatever they should do is to crash everybody that's there. Look, as long as Nigerians start to understand and the Nigerian citizens start to participate, they have done it in 2023. Like the youth population is now very enlightened, and they understand that the power to elect, the power to remove, now lies in the hands of young people. And all we need to do is to be able to direct this energy into a positive force, and then also have a foot on ground of how our elections are monitored. I don't believe the Electoral Act can change anything, because our judges are going to still manipulate the whole process and read it the way they want. It is about people's participation, because there's no way in the world, let me tell you, there's no way in the world when the people resolve to be able to dismantle a corrupt system, to be able to dismantle an oppressive system, that the entrenched democratic structure have not collapsed. It is about the mass participation of the people. if the people participate massively and get massive interest in the political process, the microscopic few politicians that have undermined our growth, undermine our economy, undermine our political development will be crushed, and they will be removed from office, and the people's choice will be made. The people will determine their future. All we need to do is to create an enlightenment process for the people to know that we have a polling unit. Elections are both are cast at the polling unit, both are counted at the polling unit, and our winners are elected at the polling unit. All the people have failed to do is to be able to secure their mandate from the polling to the collation center. We do not really need collation center, but it has been fraudulently imposed upon our democratic process. Look, you are from AC8A, from AC8A, and from AC8B. Let the parties be able to have enough 179,000 polling unit agents that could defend their mandate, and we can present those papers before the court. What we need is how to capacity for the political party, capacity for leadership of political party to be able to defend their vote, and the people will count. It has been proven that there is no way one party system can work in Nigeria. We whether in 2011 election, in 2015 election, and 2007 elections. You see when Nigerians from all walks of life in the southeast in 2007, people want two governors. In the southwest, Bola Ahmed was operating from Lagos. So everybody who have tried over the years to destroy our democratic system, to reduce it to an oligarch-driven process where the might of the state rule over the freedom of the people has failed. They have all failed, and that failure will continue to exist because it is a system that is built on the resolve of the people that democracy, freedom is greater than imprisonment of the conscience. So Nigerians are not people you can cage. As soon as you make that statement, that was the mistake PDP made when they said they are going to rule for 60 years. Nigerians are people who react to the actions or negative actions from those who have been entrusted with governance in this country. And Nigerians are very proactive people. When it comes to election, some of these statements, negative statements, these undemocratic statements being made by Ganduje today will be reflected on the ballot box against this party. And I assure you this will happen.
Okay, now Dr. Ahmed, now, if we can a little bit go further. Okay, thank you very much. The former the current national chairman of the National Rescue Movement.
Look, don't concentrate on the opposition party alone. And we should concentrate on the APC. They have not been able to hold a neck meeting. They have not been able to hold a convention.
But they are the big boys on the block. They are the big boys on the block. Everyone is rushing to them.
But you can see the opposition parties are gathering, whether it's NRM, whether it's Labour Party, whether it's PDP, they are gathering. And they are moving.
Okay.
I believe that whatever.
I'm coming. Dr. Kwame,
let's believe in
hold your thoughts
on democratic.
Hold your thoughts.
Register a new party.
We still together.
I can join any party. But to say that you will continue to register a political party, look, I don't speak because I want to benefit. Now I know. I think that I speak so that others can benefit, whether it's against the other to my interest. What I said here, the truth is that there's no way in the world. If you say you want to do access to ballot in a democracy like Nigeria, access like it's done in South Africa, like it's done in America, you cannot have access to ballot because now the problem. If you can hear me, just hold your thought. Let me now bring in the national chairman of a political party, the National Rescue Movement here, and let's hear his own take. Mr. Chinedu Obi. What's your take, Mr. Chinedu Obi? Dr. Ame have been firing from all cylinders. Dr. Ame have been firing, being very hard on the ruling party here. But as the National Rescue Movement, let me ask you a question. Is there any hope to rescue the parties who are currently in opposition, like your own, with dissenting voices? We've seen so much here, and like what? I want to ask you what I asked Dr. Ame that apparently made him so verbally enraged. Umar Ganduje have said it that those of you who are in National Rescue Movement, like yourself, who are in PDP, who are in a Labour Party, APGA, whatever, that there is nothing wrong in all of you coming home to carry the broom so that Nigeria will look more like a one-party state like Russia or China that will develop within that context. Do you agree with the national chairman of the ruling party in the country at the moment, Mr. Chinedu Obi?
Thank you very much, Carol, for inviting me again today. I will never contest what my leader, Peter Ame, had said. Peter Ame was a two-time IPAC chairman. He understands politics very well. He was a national chairman of a party, the PPRA. He is a veteran, if you like. So I can't say anything less than what he has said. I think that comment is very uncomplimentary, very unfortunate, coming from a beneficiary of a multi-party system. Like he said, if there was no multi-party system, Ganduje would not have opportunity of being governor, not to talk of being the national chairman of the APC, because APC is a product of multi-party system. So I think I agree with him that that's those kind of statements people make out of impunity, out of self imagination and the estimation of one's position. 2027 will be an opportunity where Nigerians will possibly respond to that. PDP told us they will be in power for 60 years, and you know the story today. Apparently, the APC government is unconscious of the suffering of the masses of Nigerians. 8 years of war was a disaster, and of course, the last 2 years, the average Nigerian is beginning to know whether he's still in this country or not. So, those who don't understand the psyche of the condition of today's Nigerian can make those kind of uncomplimentary statements. Multi-party democracy remains the best, and if he's making reference to China, I don't know whether he has gone to China before. You don't compare oranges and apples. China is a place that their system has worked for them, because you have people who are committed. They have a vision of growing a country. If you go to China, China will tell you we are not a developed country because we want to see the last village in China to look like Beijing before we can call ourselves a developed country. That's the kind of ambition you can have. And in fact, if my leader had that kind of ambition, I can tell him to rule forever. But when you have people who are always interested in capturing states and running a country like an empire, that kind of statement can come in. So, and I want to agree with him. This noise about the opposition not being together is completely untrue. If you ask me, the opposition parties are more democratic. Like you rightly said, I'm not aware that the APC, the ruling party, has done its neck meeting. They've not been able to do one congress. NRM in the last 3 months, if you've been following, have done a neck, have done a convention. And yes, what you call internal crisis is even something that grows out of people being able to interact with their documents. When you see people struggle to say, okay, something is not consistent with the way we do it, and the person is shouting, means that there's democracy running in that party. And I should think the idea of giving Nigerians the impression that the opposition parties are not united is because somebody wants to create the impression he has the ability to remain in power. It is quite deceitful. It's actually not speaking to the point. Nigerians should look towards the opposition for 2027, because unless we are happy with what we are seeing in our country today, any person that feels that the country is well run today can think that way. But otherwise, we should look up to the opposition. We have 19 political parties in Nigeria, and each one of them has the capacity to represent them. And like Amo said, in 2027, I believe Nigerians will keep behind possibly a party nobody will even emerge to redeem Nigeria from this different activity.
Okay, now let you a question now. Before I go to Ame, because let me allow Ame cool down a little. It appears as if the Ganduje comment is really pissing everybody off, because I saw from Daily Trust headline this morning that outrage over Ganduje's comment. I never knew the outrage over such comment will actually come on board here in independent television early morning broadcast show. But let me ask you a question. The opposition party, multiple litigations, Mr. Chinedu, multiple litigations in the opposition party, Labour Party, we are seeing litigation. PDP is already very familiar with the court. They go in and out, even getting injunctions, some going up and down and all of that here. Are you seeing any time where they can come together? Because there's a biblical injunction. I don't want to be a theologian here, but in that Matthew chapter 12, I think 34 also, that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. Can you people stand? Hello, Mr. Obi. Can I get your take on that before I come to Mr. Ahmed?
The opposition will stand. Litigation is part of the democratic process. When people disagree, they go to the judiciary to vent their anger and find interpretation of where they disagree. But don't forget, and it's looking very clear that some of these crises are both internal and external. You can see clearly that there are some moves in some quarters that will give the impression that there are hands beyond the internal persons that are responsible for such crisis. But ideally, I also believe that the association of multiple strange bedfellows, which of course soon you will find in the APC. In recent times, you hear that almost every governor wants to go to APC. What that will bring in the coming days is that the governors that are coming will want to get tickets. Somebody will need to offer them tickets, and then those who have sat down in the APC in the last 4-5 years preparing to take over such positions will fight, and you find some level of inflation. So forget about the opposition now soon, and which is the party, the APC coming. Soon we begin to discover that there are more issues in APC that you can find in all the other parties. But like I said, in a struggle for power is about interest. Everybody wants to test what the other person is testing, and is consistent with the process. What I want every Nigerian to believe is that the noise around focus on opposition issues is just to create the impression that the opposition parties are prepared for 2027. I want to assure Nigerians that choose a party of choice. Like we did in 2027, where majority of Nigerians use the ballot to express their anger. We didn't have enough reason in 2023 to be as angry as we were compared to the way we are today. I'm sure we can do that again times 2, times 3, times 4, so that we can begin to teach the political class that we cannot be taken for a ride. That's my attitude to it. In my last appearance here, I told you that the particular class, their friends and relations, put together are less than 3% of the political class today. And I'm sure Peter Ahmed has reinforced that position. And the 97% of Nigerians can choose their vote. To change this, and I'm 27 provides the opportunity to do that, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, quickly, Mr. Chinedu will be called you leader. Sometimes when we hear this political name, leader, it signifies some of those are very big spenders here. But since you have been called leader, let me come to you now, Mr. Ahmed, the former national chairman of IPAC here. Let's now quickly just give us a little take here. The Labour Party is one that some persons have not yet let go. There are still those who believe in the Labour Party. But for now, the Labour Party appears to be more like a house that we thought that the Supreme Court had given judgment. We thought we are done with Aburi. We thought the party can now go on with Esther Nanade Usman, former finance minister. We thought the Labour Party can start to build. But it appears as if after the court judgment, the court judgment in some person's mind appears very vague. So Labour Party continue again in its very complex mixed brand of difficult political salad, difficult to celebrate, to separate the political lettuce from the political cucumber and from the political carrot. What is happening in the Labour Party?
First of all, I must commend the national chairman of NRM, Honorable Chinedu, for the thought he has put out, and I think we are aligned with most of his thoughts, all his thoughts to per se, because Nigerians must, must choose from what is available, and Nigerians will not be restricted to one choice. Let me tell you, I've avoided speaking about Labour Party for a lot of reasons, because one, I was a member of the disciplinary committee, so if I express view here and it will show as if I've not I've taken a side. But for you to say the judgment of the Supreme Court is not clear, shows that you have not read that judgment. By the website of INEC, it is clear what is there. Abure by court order. That court order, in a simple layman language, has been vacated. so even if you say you don't want to recognize anybody, you will put by the side. removed by court order. So these are simple things. They are not difficult. They are not science. They are not rocket science that anybody will say. But for me, I have avoided not diving into it because Nigerian journalists must do more to save this country. I'm a journalist myself. I practice for a while, and I went to stop journalism before I practiced. But I don't stay. I dive into business. So for me, I know that the further step of the realm will do better. You know, if they could write to the commission, if they should do this, like the news broker the last time, you know, big media houses were reporting it without consulting with the commission or writing to the commission. So this is bad. Like my own concentration today is that no party that can do without internal squabbles, no party that will exist without jojo and misunderstanding and resolution to resolve this issue. I believe Labour Party is strong, and I believe at the end of the day, this issue will be resolved to the benefit of the general members of the party who believe that things will be done right. So that is my belief. I don't hold any grudges against anybody. I do not intend to. But I think that democracy entails that majority.
Before you conclude,
will have their say. So that is how I see democracy to be. And at the end of the day, it must also be transparent, it must be fair, and it must represent the interest of the people. If I want to start the foundation of this case, the issue in Labour Party, I think it will take me to the media time, airtime to be able to finish it. So there's no need for us to. The Supreme Court judgment was very clear. It was built upon the foundation of a judgment that was given. That's simple.
Before you conclude, let me just get your last take. Are you sure that what we saw last night, the Wike and the PDP governors, do you think they can work together to harmonize and rebuild back and mend the torn part of the umbrella?
For me, the people like Sule Lamido is somebody I've loved and I've cherished. I've never met him in person. In fact, with my long stay and all the people I've met, I don't know why it is the only one that is not crossing my path. But it's somebody that I have modeled my principle and democracy, you know, participation spirit after his credentials. Because if you had looked even through the worst turmoil and being a foundation member of the PDP, he has stayed. He had never moved. Even when the whole Northern Nigeria said no, it must not be Jonathan, he has been faithful to his party. And this is the kind of spirit I've always wanted, even not because INEC continue to undermine the democratic participation in our country. I don't believe that when you belong to a party and there's crisis, you have to run. I believe that you fight it out. I believe that you establish your focus and then we establish the principles of the party and make it work. So for like your question said, I think the PDP leaders have seen the danger of not putting their party, their house in order. They have seen what the APC have turned to a monster that is willing to crush whether parties in government or parties not in government. And I want to avoid, I say it on this TV, that political citizens should not use small party to discuss any party. Because if you go to section 222 to 229, parties are formed on several bases as enshrined in the constitution, and no party is bigger than the other. It is only that we have messed up our democratic system where citizens don't pay membership dues. And because citizens don't pay membership dues, those who have found themselves in power early before other parties were registered have used state resources to entrench their hold on power and to also promote the agenda of their power. The use of state resources have undermined the visibility of other parties. So Nigerian populists must understand, and it is evident in the example given in 2023 that Labour Party had no structure, Labour Party had no people, but at the end of the day, one man, Peter Obi, came, sent a message out, the message resonated with the people, and the people turned Labour Party to a vehicle that defeated almost all the entrenched political parties that we had before them. So it is about the people, and it is about multi-party democratic participation.
Thank you.
I will continue to preach that, not here today and forever. But I know that the PDP will get his house right.
Thank you.
Wike is a spoiler. Wike is not interested in democracy. Wike is not interested in any survival.
Thank you very much, Dr. I think that
political career at the detriment of the general populace of the people in this country.
Thank you, Dr.
Journalists are not doing their work. If you carry Wike all his old tape,
thank you.
He called the APC name.
If you can hear
other parties and put it just the current videos is making. You know that people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you very much for being part of the show. Thank you very much, National Chairman of the National Rescue Movement Party. Mr. Chinedu Obi, and thank you very much, the former chairman of IPAC. It's top of the hour, 9 a.m. this morning, and it's now time for us to be getting set to join Joshua Okata in Lagos. We all understand very clearly well that section 14, subsection 2B states very clearly that the primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the citizens.